Welcome to Haslip Cycleworks, and in this episode I'm going to be introducing the GoKart project. Well, I asked and you guys answered with a resounding yes. But as soon as I got home, as you can tell, the skies opened up and she started pouring. So I'm gonna have to wait till it calms down a little bit. During that time, I'm gonna clean up a few things and get us a good solid platform to put the go-kart on so we can kind of assess what's already been done, what needs to be done. I can give you guys a little bit of a backstory on it and tell you where we kind of want to, what direction we want to go with it. Let me shut this off and hopefully Mother Nature will let us get back outside to get to that go-kart. Now she has been sitting out in the rain and the weather for about, I don't know, 6-7 months. Someone's moved in. So this is what we're starting with. As you can see, I've made some mods already. Cut out some of the tube work that was in the way, and I initially built this up for a 212 with a torque converter and a solid live axle. And then I also have a mount for a hydraulic brake caliper, and I did a brace here, and the purpose of that was to hold the master cylinder for the hydraulic brake system, so that when you press down on it, it wouldn't just bow the floor. And then this little tab here was simply for the reservoir for the master cylinder. And I also removed the factory spindle mounts in favor of some heavier duty versions from Go Power Sports. And of course I built a little bit of caster into that. The story behind this is I picked it up at a yard sale for 75 bucks, I think. And it had the 6 horsepower Tecumseh, however you want to say it, motor in it. Ran a little rough. Cleaned the carb out, put a new plug in it, cleaned the tank out, and it actually ran pretty good for a one-tire fryer with drum band brakes, or a single drum band brake. Drove this thing till I burned the tires out on it. I mean, I was going as fast as I could, did a governor bypass, which I did a really shady job on that. It was really just a string that hooked to the governor arm. I know you guys are laughing, but it worked until my neighbor decided that he wanted to take it for a rip. There were some liquid libations involved. He jumped in it before I could tell him where the kill switch was. Took off down the street, went flying by with a panicked look in his face, screaming, "How do I stop this thing?" What was left of the brake was glowing red, and it was starting to get pretty dark. Somehow or another, he managed to get to the front of the neighborhood, get it turned around without hitting the main road, and flying back through the neighborhood, actually passing cars that were doing the speed limit. I think we got this thing up to 35 at one point, so he was around that area. and realized that he was running out of the road real quick. If you guys haven't noticed, we've got these rather deep ditches around our properties out here. Making a decision in a fraction of a second, he decided that he didn't want to run into anyone or anything. He aimed for the ditch in front of his house, hit it so hard that his phone flew out of his pocket and was embedded 2 inches in the ground. Cart hit, he got ejected. Before he even came to rest on the ground, the cart flipped over, landed on top of him, and the motor was running full tilt. What happened was when he pulled that string to bypass the governor, it got lodged, and it went wide open and stayed wide open no matter what you did. And it was dark. He wasn't familiar with the cart and didn't know where the kill switch was, so he burned through the brakes, smoked the clutch, but she kept going until he put it in the ditch. And luckily, he's kind of a narrow guy, unlike me, and he actually fit through the front of the cart when he got ejected. Ran over, shut the cart down, got it off of him. Once he got his wits about him and his bearings back, we checked him over. He was good. Next day, he was a little sore, some bruises, so got real lucky there. Moral of that story, don't do shady stuff. And definitely, if you do shady stuff, don't let your friends ride in or on whatever you got going on. That long duration, wide open throttle situation took its toll on the old Tecumseh. Kind of gave up the ghost, but I wish I could have got video of that whole incident for you guys. It was something else. That's the backstory. You kind of see where I started going with it. So what my goal is to get it cleaned up, put a 212 on it, maybe a stage 1 torque converter. We're going to put a new live axle on it. The wheels and tires that were on the rear of it, which weren't really that big to begin with, we're going to move to the front. I have new spindles and hardware for that. And then I've got some much bigger rear wheels and tires to go on this thing. Hence the reason for the torque converter. I don't want to burn out the clutch. I'm trying to run those bigger wheels and tires. Get the brake system all done. Clean it up. Do some maintenance on it. I mean, we got some rust we need to remediate on this thing. Maybe paint it a different color. Put the color that you think we should go with in the comment section on this thing. We're going to test it out, make sure everything's good to go, and then we're going to sell this off to help fund some of the other projects we want to get done. So hopefully, quick turnaround on this. So stage 1, 212, torque converter, bigger wheels and tires, hydraulic brake for those incidents where you gotta stop and you don't know where the kill switch is. Yeah, that should be it. We're not going to go too fancy. We're not going to put lights or any of that mess on it. And we don't want it to be too fast because chances are when we sell it, it's going to be a kid's cart. So I'm going to edit and upload this footage and get it out to you guys so we can get rolling on it. And I'm going to start making a parts list. Until next time, guys, get out there and do it.